This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. Today, two America's rivals go head-to-head one last time for a shot at winning it all. Hello, everyone, and welcome to VALORANT Champions Los Angeles, coming at you live from the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. I'm Golden Boy on the desk today. We got Mimi, we have Achilleos, and it's Mel from V1 here today. Hello, Mel. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm honestly...
Guys, give it up for Mel. Seriously. Hello. Thank you. It's Mel. Goodness gracious.
Thank you. Honestly, it's been such a good time. I just flew in Wednesday. I saw the games yesterday, and the energy in here is just awesome. It's so awesome.
Oh yeah, it's going to be awesome today as well because we have one match on the docket, but this one is going to be a doozy because it's Evil Geniuses taking on Loud as they face off in the lower bracket final, and this one is going to be a best of 5, and the winner's going to move on to the grand final tomorrow to take on Paper X for the trophy. And if you would have told me going into this tournament that this is the lower final we would have gotten, given, you know, I mean, heck, even at the start of the year, with the way EG started, with the way that Loud looked like they were on top of the world and then dipped, it really is just a fascinating story that we have here, Mimi.
First off, you've said that about every matchup and every possible combination.
Have I really?
We've gotten to. I'm pretty sure you've said that.
Old age is a son of a gun, I'll tell you that much.
It is, but also I agree with you, and you're correct. And this is a crazy matchup to get at this point. We've seen EG versus Loud 3 times already. There's a lot of history there, and it's two teams that, again, no one would have seen coming in this position this late into the tournament here at Champions.
I mean, flashback to them getting 13-0 by Loud. You know, this is just something that we didn't anticipate. They got into the international competitions by way of a knife kill coming through, and not even their own series. So yeah, I think this was very unexpected whatsoever. But Paper X in the grand final, you know, that one, I had that one booked. I had that completely on the docket the entire way through.
So you just traded the DRX for the PRX, and this is where you are right now.
After Tokyo, absolutely I did.
Oh boy, oh boy. Mel, what about for you though? Because these matches are certainly surprising, I think, for a lot of people to see, but the tracks that a lot of these teams took to get to this point, I think, is what's been really shocking everyone.
I mean, when you do look at Loud and EG, like you were saying, I feel like they've been in such a pivotal point in each other's like defining how this year has went for them. Like you said, that 13-0 from EG, and then we see like in Tokyo, no one was really expecting EG to take a map or even like a series off Loud at the time, and then we see Loud going out early and seeing that, and now here we are in like a lower final.
Yeah. For a grand final spot.
Transport me like 8 months ago, I never would have told you this.
Yeah, I know, right? And if we would have had time machines, we would have made a lot of money. But in any case, for a closer look at EG, let's go ahead and listen in on their comms from their win over Edward Gaming in this Sony in-zone open mic.
It's quiet. Nothing here.
Orb towards B, Viper.
I'm gonna TPB.
I'm like, Sky here?
Grab it. I'm B with you,
Might be B rush.
I'm trying to go screens once.
We have Exodia, by the way.
Street, someone pick up street.
I'll jiggle straight here.
Yep, go. Playing it. Omen here, can you smoke?
I'm gonna flash long, flashing front screen.
You guys, we can retake as well.
Yeah, when I get out, Max.
Wait, pillar.
I'm getting out, Max.
Two there.
Yeah, we have full retake.
We're playing out, Max.
Yeah, one broke my...
I'm joining street.
Go for it.
One behind screen.
Guys up.
不，他看飞机清我了。中外也在，中外也在，中外有入捷力。凯宙不见啊！飞吧，你飞吧，你飞吧。我把烟给你们封着。A 小可以 pick 吗？先可以。我踢教堂了，行吗？踢。A 大可能有个阿兹法的，我跟你们说。瞄下剑行吗？瞄了。剑来了。我贴。他们推着手的像是。
3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna go secret now, Bussy.
Omen's lamps. We go fast. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, go fast. Someone get on that.
I'm flashing through man's wall.
You do.
Oh, I missed, bro. I missed.
Give another one.
No.
I'm sticking. Go through. Good. I'm holding. We win.
Body, Max. Nice, Max. Good. Boys, good.
Hey, boom.
8-4.
A good half there that we saw end for Evil Geniuses, but I'm left wondering what in the world is Exodia?
I have no idea. Maybe the ult combo of Killjoy ult and Astro ult.
Exodia. I don't know. I just had to say it.
I feel like it has to be that. It's just got to be that KJ Astro wall. So it's like, okay, we can plant this safely behind it. That clears them all out. They have to push the wall in order to try to clear the KJ wall. I don't know. Whatever it is, they had it and it worked.
It's a corner. It's like a corner call out somewhere, and they just have to call it Exodia.
We have this corner. Just letting you know, we have it.
We have those corners.
We own
All right, folks. Well, look, it's time for today's MasterCard fan poll, and the question is incredibly simple. And why don't you guys here in the forum join me in figuring out who you think is going to win this one? Is it going to be Evil Geniuses? Or is it going to be Loud? Ooh,
What's crazy is the Loud
Scan
fan, there's far fewer of them. They're just way louder. Any EG fans here really have to step it up because the entourage for Loud has arrived.
Yeah, indeed they have, and it's going to be kind of cool to see these two teams who have already have quite the history with one another start to clash. It's going to be quite fascinating. Of course, folks, make sure you guys use those hashtags, VALORANT Champions as well as VCT throughout the broadcast. We can feature your stuff and have a good time with that. You know, just usual business that we always do. But we are going to take a quick pause for the cause, excuse me, and then we're going to break down this lower bracket final. But first, we have a quick word from our sponsor.
If you're in Los Angeles here for VCT Champions, you gotta come on down to Set's Discount Warehouse. We've moved the show to the Kia Forum, and it's Merch Mania, and everything must go! I'm sitting on a massive shipment of deadlocks, and right now they're priced to move at just $19.99. Come on, teams, I know you want to put the new agent in your compositions. I'm looking at you, Paper Rex. Are you trying to avoid getting a sunburn in this harsh LA weather? Wear one of these limited edition artist t-shirts, which guarantees a rematch win over Billy Billy. Just $9.99. You know what? The only thing that's gonna fade faster than the color on this puppy is the confidence that you have while wearing it. You know, I think maybe the jet lag or maybe it's the sunburn is getting to my head because I think I'm gonna drop the price to $4.99. I've also got posters commemorating Evil Geniuses' brief stint as America's sweethearts. Remember the good old days of 0-13 score lines before all that shit talking for only $14.99. Splish splash, I'm taking a bath on this order of FoxyClean, which I shipped in from overseas. That's okay, it just means more savings for you. $4 for $1, screw it, who cares? I need some sales. Look, everybody, I'm in real trouble. I bought all this merch. I brought it to Los Angeles. I took out a mortgage on my house to afford this stuff thinking I was going to make a fortune. And I haven't sold a damn thing. I need your help. So please, buy something good. Normally I take your pity, but I need cash. So just open your wallets and come on down to Set's Discount Warehouse in Inglewood today.
Welcome back to VALORANT Champions. It's our lower bracket final. Let's go ahead and talk about today's matchup. It's Evil Geniuses and Loud. Of course, I'm Golden Boy here with Mimi. You got V1 Smell and look a little familiar, but we'll move on from that one.
I thought I saw that guy in the parking lot.
Whoever that guy was, you guys should buy his merch.
Yeah.
And he should get a raise.
Okay.
That's convenient. In any case, look, here's the deal. These two teams, they know each other incredibly well, right? They come from the same region. They've clashed many times before. This isn't the first time, obviously, and we have seen these teams really just take it to one another each and every time, but I would definitely say, like, 13-0, that one always stands out to me. But Mimi, it's good to see that this bounce back has happened, and it's happening here at this lower bracket finals for both squads.
Yeah, Mel, as you had mentioned, I think the games between these two teams are really indicative of their trajectory throughout the year. It was the EG that everyone doubted, no one believed could do anything in Americas, and had a really dreadful start. They were the first team to get 13-0'd at an international league by Loud. But then we went deeper into this matchup. They play again in the upper final. It's closer, but still they end up losing. Loud stays on top. They go on to win Americas. But we get to Tokyo, and EG claps back. They beat Loud in what was then the biggest upset of the tournament, and go on to make upset after upset happen to finally make people believe in them.
And they both have had such different journeys to get here. Like you were saying, EG has started from the bottom, 13-0, all the way up to here, earning their spot here in the lower final. Loud, on the other hand, 8-0 in the regular season, very hyped up to like qualify, fall short in LCQ, not in LCQ rather, but
Tokyo.
In Tokyo, exactly. And seeing that, and now it's like a bit of a bumpier road, while EG has kind of been in this upward swing.
But it does seem like the trajectories have reversed almost again, because it's an EG who stumble in the upper final again. Now they're down here with a Loud who's been making a great run thus far this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, prior to yesterday, had only really dropped that one map versus EDG, and then after they dropped that one, came back to clap in those final two and 2 and 3. They rolled them in those ones. But then going in yesterday, it looked shaky. It was very much the calm show from the outset, but if you remove that, if he has even 50% less of a performance, that could have been a much more one-sided affair. So EG definitely not looking like themselves nearly as much in that series yesterday. They need to have that bounce back, whereas Loud very much have been on that upswing. They are looking like the team that we anticipated. They are looking like the ones who were defending that Champions title.
Yeah, and that is the scary thing here, because they have one thing on their mind, and that is going back-to-back World Championships. Would be massive for Loud. But for more on Loud, let's actually go ahead and send it over to Yinsu, standing by with the one and only Coach Fraud.
So Loud is here. I'm gonna stop Fraud, and I have a present for Aspas. Come here, Fraud. Aspas. First of all, it's a present for you. Presente para você, Aspas. Can you see if you like it?
Thanks for the present. Thanks for the dog. Now I have a new dog.
Agora ele tem um novo cachorro, mas antes de perguntar pra você, Fraud, cara, a EG é conhecida por dar muito trash talk, atirar no corpo, eles são meio que os vilões aqui do campeonato. Tem uma motivação extra para vocês vencer deles hoje, eliminar? So, Fraud, EG, they are known like the villains here. They like to trash talk, they like to shoot bodies after the kills. Do you have any extra motivation to eliminate day to day?
No, we don't have extra motivation. I mean, we have enough. We're here representing the country of Brazil, all of South and Latin America. So for us, that's enough motivation that we need.
A gente não tem uma motivação extra, não. A gente está aqui representando toda a América do Sul, Brasil, Latam. Então essa é toda a motivação que a gente precisa. Thank you so much and good luck today.
Yinsu looking a lot like Tishinya these days, but of course a big shout out to our Brazilian colleague, Tishinya, for all of that awesome stuff there. But in any case, though, yeah, I mean, they don't really have much of a reason, you know. I mean, yes, EG's been talking a lot of trash to a lot of people. Loud ain't one of those teams. I think they know a little bit better than the trash talk Aspas and the rest of Loud, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Loud as well, the biggest motivator is and will always be that they represent Brazil. They're this Brazilian super team. They obviously won Champions last year, and that was a massive achievement for the country of Brazil, for the entire Valorant scene there. So being able to come back here in 2023, try and make another run at an international event, if they could win again, it would be such a huge moment for all those players and for the entire country they represent.
And I think it would be, too, a moment of peaking at the right time, right? Like, maybe they might have not had the best run in Tokyo, like, went out in groups. But if they're able to peak again during Champions, the most important event of the year by far, that would cement them 2 back-to-back in a row.
I mean, it's just something that people haven't been able to do yet. We had back-to-back titles, you know, obviously for Fnatic with Lock-in, then into Masters, but that double championship, something that has eluded so far. It's always been a new team. If Loud could be the first ones to do it, especially not even, you know, carrying over that same roster that won in 2022, it's that much more impressive.
Yeah, and one of the carryovers, though, from that roster to this year, and has been immaculate genuinely all season long, it's Aspas. And he's coming into this one with a lot of work to do here, Mel. This is going to be a challenging game because, to your point, if like Calm and Demon One and these guys are hitting on Evil Geniuses, Aspas is certainly going to have his work cut out for him.
Aspas is a huge part of the Loud system. You know, when I've talked to Fraud, he is also not only the star player, but he's willing to work within a system to also make sure his teammates are put into good spots as well.
And you can see the progress from this player as well here throughout his time. He was great in Americas, and he still played well for them at Tokyo. It wasn't quite that all-star level performance that you'd seen in the past from him, but now here at Champions, it's again the idea of peaking at the right time. And I feel like there's no better indication of that than their win over Fnatic. They won almost every pistol round. They were converting like 75% of their bonus rounds. They had great ideas for the early game, had really strong reads against what Fnatic was doing, a team who has never been eliminated this year from a global event up until that match. And on top of that, all their players are individually looking in that form they won Americas with, that form that they won Champions 22 with.
Yeah, and one of the things that we want to see from Aspas is play the Jet. Jet, good. I like that. When he was in that dip, you know, you think back to them versus EG, we were really hyped up this Kong matchup versus Ospest, this massive jet clash. Didn't get to see it. The Neon came out, didn't look good. Synergy across the board for Loud, not strong. But yesterday, comes out, absolutely destroys. His stats across that series versus Fnatic were absolutely stellar. And that's something that they need to be worried about here for the side of EG, because if Aspas shows up and he's in that form, you have a very serious thing that you need to try to rein in here. And Demon 1, he had some shaky moments yesterday, so is he going to be up to task?
Yeah, and I think as well for Loud, they think that they proved two things in that matchup against Fnatic. One, I think that they have one of the strongest map pools here at Champions. I think they exploited some weaknesses that no one had really been able to do so super much against Fnatic before, besides Loud. And on top of that, I also think they showed their ability to play a lot of different styles. They're still great at the Harbor Viper, but they've moved away from that. They've been innovating with different compositions and are still showing us that level of Loud, even when they are a little outside of that comfort zone that had kind of been once set for them.
Yeah, and I think most teams in these types of situations, when they get hit with hardship and have to really begin to dig deep, you know, it's easy to kind of just go and point fingers and, you know, do all that, but it's even harder to just bounce back stronger than ever. And Loud at this point, beating Fnatic the way that they did, hard to argue that this team is coming into this one at full power. They are 100% shooting on all cylinders. This is literally what you want to see if you are a Loud fan today. Couldn't have asked for a better matchup. But before we dig any deeper into today's match, we've actually got some big news that we want to share about the future of competitive Valorant. And I'm not going to say any more, so why don't you guys just go ahead and check out this video.
Hey everyone, I'm Andy, Game Director for Valorant, and we're back with an update on Premier. Just as a refresh, Premier is our team-based competitive system that connects the game and the sport as one greater whole. And it's a fun way for any team of friends to compete together.
Nice! Let's go!
So with that said, on August 29th, Premier will officially launch. The theme with the first official stage of Premier in Episode 7, Act 2, is that now we're playing for real. We'll introduce the official divisions for Premier, so instead of numbers from 1 through 20, like we used in the test phases, you'll now see Open, Intermediate, Advanced, Elite, and Contender at the top. Weekly matches will now cover all 7 maps in the competitive pool. And last but not least, we'll officially start tracking your career history and results from here on out. Our commitment has always been to invest in the long-term health of the game and the sport. So when it comes to the sport, I'll let Leo, our head of Valorant Esports, go over the high-level roadmap for how Premier will connect with the VCT.
Thanks, Andy. The hype is real around here now that we're finally connecting Premier with the VCT. But what will this new path to Pro bring? You'll see the first changes in early 2024 when all players competing in open qualifiers for Valorant Challengers will need to have played in Contender in Premier, replacing the old requirement of being ranked Immortal and above. In Q2 of 2024, the top Contender level teams will compete against Challenger teams in a promotion relegation event, fighting for a spot in the league. This means that for the first time, Premier will feed straight into Challengers. And by the end of 2024, all new teams entering Challengers will have to climb through Premier in order to be promoted upwards. Here are a few more details about the feature you should be aware of. Challengers and Premier will be moving to a year-round ecosystem starting in Q4 of 2024. That means no more long breaks between seasons. Second, with the new integration into Challengers, teams will have more opportunities to advance upwards into the regional leagues than ever before. At the end of every CL stage, we'll have a promotion event to bring up the best teams from Premier. And third, to ensure competitive integrity, pro players who are active on a Challengers or International League roster will not be able to join a Premier team. Thanks again to all of you for helping us get to launch. This is the official starting line of the Premier journey, and we'll return with more details and updates throughout this coming year. We'll see you next time.
Joining joining us now, it's Valorant Game Director Andy Ho and the Global Head of Valorant Esports, Lito Fadia. Hello, guys. Good to see you. How's everything doing? Welcome to Champions. I mean, you kind of like help orchestrate the dang thing, so
Yes,
I guess,
sir.
you know, you're very familiar with this.
Yes.
But let's go ahead and kick things off first and foremost and talk about what we had just learned. So, Andy, how does Premier fit into the roadmap for each act moving forward?
Yeah, so anyone can make a team right now. But enrollment starts next week. So even if you have a team, remember to hit that enroll button sometime next week so you can play. And one thing that we didn't quite say was that, you know, Premier is going to be on with every act now, but moving forward. So,
yeah, seems like a great change. And Leo, for the integration with the esports, obviously, I wanted to ask when the teams will need to reach that contender level to be able to play in that CL qualifier next year.
Yeah, so all the changes start in early 2024, and that first promotion will happen around episode 8, Act 1, which is January 2024. So teams have around 4 months, the rest of 2023, to practice, play on Premier, play on Ranked, and get ready for,
Some good time to prep there then.
Indeed, go up to CLs.
That's going to be exciting to see. You also mentioned this promotion relegation system and the event that's going to be taking place Q2 of next year. How many of those CL spots will be open to promotion in that event?
Right, so we're going to start with 2 spots. That's not the final design. We're going to be working a lot on Premier on the course of next year. The hope is that eventually, one day, all teams going up to Premier, to CLs will come from Premier. But we're going to start with 2 slots on that, first part of 2024.
Wow, that's incredible. Of course, creating opportunities for people to be, like, essentially lowering the barrier to entry for esports has always been a mission for a lot of game devs. So it's actually quite awesome to see this happening in game. And I guess, you know, last but certainly not least, what are you guys most excited about? Because it seems like, you know, the hype around Premier has certainly been there. I think a few people here join Premier teams. You guys playing Premier by any chance here in the forum? I think a few of them are.
Let's go.
I think a few of them are. So what are you guys excited about here? We'll start with you first, Leo.
So yeah, I think you nailed it. We've been dreaming of one streamlined, very connected path to pro that starts in game, that really removes the friction for anyone willing to go pro and wanting to go pro. And we have tested a lot of things in the past decade, right? Everything from having amateur leagues to open qualifiers, and all of those solutions work. But we think Premier is going to really give anyone, anywhere around the world, the opportunity to play. It's essentially creating for us a very robust and wide foundational layer for the sport.
Pick up games in the park a reality.
That's exactly
honestly
right.
what it boils down to.
So
that's how
excited.
it should be, you know, so that people can just get in and play, right? And what about for you, Andy? What are you excited for, bud?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's just being always on. You know, and starting to track your career history in the game. So a lot of us on the team, you know, we grew up playing these third-party competitive leagues that kind of came and went. So having Premier be this official part of the game was always something that we wanted to do since day one.
Yeah.
We really want to bring like competitive team play to everyone. And yeah, definitely, who knows, maybe one day we'll see some team that's played their way all the way through Premier up onto the champion stage.
Let's go.
It'd be
that
so
would be
cool
a dream.
To see. Yeah, I mean, already just like scrimming and playing in the Premier beta and the first act of it is like some of the most fun I've had in Valorant building up a team. So actually having that direct path to pro for people into Challengers League, I think is going to be fantastic next year.
Yeah, we're excited. It's going to be awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us here, giving us a little insight on what we can be expecting moving forward. Exciting times ahead, without a doubt. But folks, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to dive right back into the matchup. It's going to be Loud taking on EG, and as always, we'll see you on the other side.
My, oh my, here comes Evil Geniuses. I'm going to grab Com for a quick word. Now, Com, yesterday you had a brilliant individual performance, but that wasn't quite enough to get your team over the line for a win. So what do you and your team need to do today to make sure you do bring home that W?
I think it's just a matter of hitting the clutches. I think we lost a lot of clutches yesterday, which ultimately led us to lose the match. But I think today, if we just win our clutches, play together, and just play our game, we'll be fine.
Yeah. I believe in you. Good luck, good luck.
There you heard from Com, and let's go ahead and talk about EG, because yesterday they were right there. 2 rounds, and they could have been in the grand finals with that upper bracket advantage, Achilleos, and it slipped out of their hands, and it's unfortunate that that's the case, but hey man, you got to be able to close out those matches.
You do, and I mean, honestly, it slipped out of their hands very similarly to how Ascent slipped out of Paper X's, because for quite some time they were in control. For so many of those rounds they were in control, but it was Com. That guy, the one who's saying we need to hit those clutches, we were having those slip out of our hands, he was absolutely annihilated.
That wasn't him.
He was playing unbelievably. Yeah. So for them to get to that third map was still very strong, but yeah, they had that lead, 11-6, can't close it, goes into overtime, and then from there they get, what, 1 reset, and then it just ends up falling away from them. They were right there on the precipice of greatness, of being able to get that auto qualification forward into the grand finals, to having those 2 bans to use against whatever opponent you would be facing, and it let slip. But now it's the time to make up for it. It's the time to just make sure that you can get that grand final all the same. Get back into that, have another best of 5, have another crack at Paper X to try to get the trophy.
It is, though, the same story that we saw at Tokyo. EG's very familiar with this. They had an incredibly heartbreaking overtime loss that came down to a round versus Fnatic to not make it into the grand finals back at Tokyo. It's the same story that's happened to them here again, but it's the question of this time with the added pressure of champions. Can they keep that fun-loving attitude, knowing that it was, honestly, kind of a choke? They really should have been able to close that game out.
Yeah, you know who wasn't playing any games on that stage. And Mel, I'm going to go to you this one because I know you want to talk about him. Is Com. This kid was out of this world. He was hitting clutch after clutch after clutch. This guy was just dragging the carcass over the finish line in some of those rounds.
Yeah, I'm in the crowd screaming, that's the American hero. He's like, he's out here winning. He's doing everything. Every round was like a 2K, or his impact of his util was insurmountable, and he was winning clutches on clutches, and he's saying we lost clutches, and I'm just thinking, like, I kind of want to see more from EG winning in terms of team play, because they don't win Ascent if Com is even like 10% not what it was in that game. So I feel like they need to win these rounds more as a team, and I'm also thinking that I kind of want to see, I'm not entirely sure, like, these clutches were insane, but I don't like seeing teams win off of hero plays over and over and over.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Totally agree.
That's not consistent. That's not a form that you're always going to hit, that stride that you're always going to be able to maintain. So if it's just, I mean, he was truly Atlas yesterday. He was the one holding up.
Yeah, he was not Atlas. He was Sisyphus. He pushed the rock up, it fell on him.
That's how his arms look. I don't know if you know that. In real life, he wears the thing around his arm, but because he hides the muscles. He knows, Poppy. He knows.
But the thing is, are we going to see that kind of Herculean as to just go ahead and throw another god's name or mythological name out there? Is he going to have that same kind of performance here today? Because we saw it, in the first 2 maps, but even then, it was too much. He had already given so much, it started to fall off by the end.
Yeah, he absolutely did. But I do think, though, for Com, a lot of those clutches were kind of predicated on the way that EG plays on their defense, which I was really impressed with throughout the day, especially the way that they were punishing Paper X, because Paper X is a team, they don't default a lot, especially on bind. They do a lot of 4-1s or 5 hits. EG was always punishing that with these fast flanks, and they do a really good job of buying time for their teammates to commit to those plays, commit to those flanks. I think EG, even against tough-to-read teams like Paper X, are always good at finding the right game plan, so I don't doubt they can do that against Loud. My biggest concern now is how's the mental after letting that game slip yesterday.
That's very true. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our MasterCard fan poll, because earlier we asked you which team do you think is going to walk away to the grand final, get that dub, and you picked Loud at 64.2%, EG at 35.8%. Wow. Okay. All right, y'all biased. We get it. Okay. What do you guys make of that, Mel?
I mean, it's interesting too, because I was here and it was like EG versus Paper X, and it felt like the crowd was actually Paper X favored. So it was interesting now to see that it's more of the opposite, where it's like, all right, EG, let's get some EG hype in the room, because that's kind of what I want to see. And something I also want to see from EG is having fun, because in the match conference afterwards, it seemed like they were talking about how it wasn't fun to play against Paper Rex. Busio was saying. So I think today a big focus will be finding that groove, finding that fun having, and like not really thinking too much about the pressure that you were saying.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what got them so far in Tokyo. Playing with house money, being flexible, having fun there. But it's always difficult because you're playing against the reigning world champion today. Loud do not want to go out early again.
Ain't that the truth? Well, folks, it's now time to get this BO5 started. EG versus Loud. VALORANT Champion starts right now.
I look back and I just remember those feelings again. We got so much hate. No one believed in us.
History about to be made, not in the way that EG was hoping for. Never been a 13-0 in any of the VCT international leagues.
Probably one of the bottom teams.
Controversial move in bringing Demon 1 in. The person with the least amount of like experience.
No one believed in us.
Evil geniuses, welcome to Tokyo.
Not gonna make it out of groups. We were just lucky and went on a hot streak. No one believed in us still.
So Corbin, you gotta stay towards connector instead of staying puffy.
It's just nice having a coach that's believed in me.
This year has been an absolute dream come true for all of us. We've had ups and downs, and it's just made us stronger. It's prepared us for this exact moment, so I'm proud of you, no matter what happens at Champions.
A gente é time com muita experiência, mas às vezes perder realmente acontece. E a gente agora está utilizando isso para dar energia para fazer ainda melhor na Champions.
Cara, eu só tenho que falar que eu realmente estou muito orgulhoso, principalmente da evolução do Cauã e do Twist. Agora eu sinto que cada um tem a sua personalidade dentro do jogo. Pra mim, ser bicampeão mundial seria muita coisa, com certeza, né?
We are one of the best teams in the world, but it still kind of feels like we can be the underdogs.
At this point in my mind, Loud are in championship form here. They are in full force.
We weren't as confident to versus Loud as we are now, so it kind of feels only right playing against them again.
Estou me sentindo bem, estou hypado, estou com muita vontade de jogar.
You got us at NA playoffs, we got you at Tokyo. See, you get to see when it actually matters at Champs.
All right, let's jump right in. EG, you are higher seed, Team A or Team B?
Team A, please.
Team A. So Loud, you'll be Team B, and we will start with EG, your first ban.
We will ban Haven.
Haven, your ban.
Fracture.
Fracture, and so map number 1 from EG.
Ascent, please.
Ascent, side on Ascent from Loud.
Defense.
Defense, and map number 2.
Lotus.
Lotus, EG side on Lotus.
Attack, please.
Attack, and map number 3 from EG.
We will pick Pearl.
Pearl, Loud, side on Pearl.
Attack.
Attack, okay, and map number 4 from Loud. You have bind and split.
Split.
Split, okay. EG side on split.
Defense.
Defense, that makes map number 5. Decider will be bind. Loud, attack or defense?
Defense. Defense.
Defense. Okay, I'm gonna run back through this, make sure we're all set. The bans from EG is Haven, Loud is Fracture. Map number 1 is Ascent with Loud on defense. Map number 2 is Lotus with EG on attack. Map number 3 is Pearl with Loud on attack. Map number 4 is Split with EG on defense. Map number 5, Decider, is Bind with Loud on defense. All right, good luck to you both.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
Loud have a world championship to defend, and standing in their way is a familiar foe. It's time to settle the score once and for all, and Mimi, I have a feeling these two teams are going to tear the house down.
They're so familiar with each other. 3 times already this year they've played against each other, and the two teams have had very, very different progress throughout the year. Loud started coming in as world champions, almost winning in lock-in 2 rounds away. Then it slipped. At Tokyo, they fall. They need to come back here at Champions. And on the other side, no one could have ever expected EG at this point. This team started from nothing. They've risen up through Tokyo, through breaking every expectation to make it now here for a chance at another grand final.
It's everything to play for. From this point, I mean, you see the hugs exchange. They know that both sides, neither is going to be leaving anything on the table during this series. Both sides are going to give it their absolute all to be walking away into that grand final at the end of it, rather than going home.
It's a lot of pressure on all these players, on the coaching staff, on everyone to get to this moment. You know, I think a lot of people sometimes forget, right? Yeah, you know, we have these tournaments around the world and stuff, but this is Champions. This is where legends are forged. And you have an opportunity to punch your ticket to the grand final, to make your name famous. There's a huge opportunity here, Mel, for these two teams to do so. And I very well think so, that both squads deserve it, but now it's time to see who wants it more.
And I can't imagine the pressure that they're under right now, and trying in so many different ways to try to alleviate that pressure. But the reality is you're on the stage here in the Kia Forum, surrounded by fans and foes, and I just can't imagine what is going through their mind other than trying to stay in the present, try not to think about the pressure, and just think about how you're going to go into the game today.
And well, they've played each other before. It's different. It's a best out of 5 now, and I don't think the map veto is hugely surprising. EG get rid of Haven, Loud's best map. Loud get rid of Fracture, EG's best map. So that leaves us to start off here on Ascent, which, Seth, I feel is somewhat poetic. It's where Loud was able to beat this team before. They were always the best, but EG's on a crazy win streak right now. They're 6-0.
I mean, yeah, they were able to beat them before, but the last time they played it, it was one of the maps that EG was able to take away from them. It was a very one-sided affair, but again, that's when we were seeing those dips come through from Loud. Across that map, Aspas 10-17, Demon 1 absolutely murdering on the opposite side at 18-8. I want to see a clash with both of those players at their absolute peaks. Demon 1 was very quiet on Ascent yesterday versus Paper X. It was the calm show. Like Mel said earlier, I want to see a more concerted effort from the side of EG. Come out swinging because you know that that is exactly what Loud is going to do.
They can't rely on the clutches today. And Mel, for EG, I think it has to start strong in these first few maps where they're so comfortable. We're into the Prime Gaming Agent Select. And I want to ask you, with the default comps, with the team you've played against so many times before, how does that change this matchup?
There has to be mind games in here, right? I mean, we're so deep into the tournament as well. Even despite not playing each other, we can see the fact that there's VODs out there of how each team are playing. And I'm looking really at the operator here. We've seen Aspas dominate Knives, Vandal, Op, and Demon One is someone that has said, hey, maybe I don't like picking up the Op as much, but Ascent is a battleground of the operator. You can absolutely take over a game. We've seen so many Jets across this entire year just drop 30 back and forth, switching up where they're playing, and that's what I'm really looking to here for both of these teams.
And in those mind games as well, it's always going to come down to the IGLs. Boostio tends to be excellent on this map, on defense, anchoring with this Killjoy, and Sadak is always impactful on that KO, on a default map with an opponent you are familiar with. It's about how can you change, how can you surprise them here in the game that matters most. It's the last match of the year for one of these teams.
Well, folks, this is it. The agents are locked in. Our teams are ready to kick off this best-of-5 showdown, and the grand finals is on the line. So let's go ahead and make some noise, Kia Forum, as we get into the action. Send it over to Brendan Sideshow.
Let's get to it here. That's right, the lower bracket finals are best-of-5 territory. Loud versus EG, a regional matchup, but still so much on the line here. All for that grand finals at Champs 2023.
This is primed to be an incredible game. There is history between these two squads. And while Loud is ahead in terms of the match head-to-head, they are dead even on the amount of maps that each have taken over the course of this season. EG have been able to punch up to our inaugural America's winners. And specifically on this map, have come out with some fantastic ideas to be able to refute what Loud has done on what is historically their best map.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how this pistol round gets taken out. Both of these teams actually doing pretty well when it comes to the pistol round win rates. The deeper they've got into the playoffs itself, it's been a key win condition for either side. So all eyes going to be placed onto this one. A setup. Look at Alarmbot and Aspas. Yeah, it's traps and traps. I mean, the far back position of Sadek, he's holding a flash most likely. Dart, Alarmbot. There's the flash, and there is the collection. It's beautiful, it's precise. And a surgical picking apart of EG. Good luck. Trying to pivot now and enter themselves into the B site. We'll be able to get that plant down. Ethan, not contested.
Boostio's going to have to pull out some magic here.
Up to the corner here. Look at the movement, the hops on him. No clean shot, no easy target. That is a very clean pistol round.
Absolutely flawless from Loud in every possible sense of the term. The double catwalk setup is great if EG want to move in that direction anyway, but it also contributes an extra layer to that mid-trap. Alarmbot contact, or any kind of contact off the back of Aspas, triggering the flash. Paranoia also coming through to clear these players out even further and allowing this follow-up. A beautifully designed pistol round. Immaculate stuff from Loud there. And showing you one of the biggest reasons why they were able to take down Fnatic. These pistol rounds into bonus rounds have been so strong for Loud.
It's Loud that is fired up. They want to have that chance to defend their trophy, the champs title, the prior year. It's Eju who stands in their way. Look at the damage. Shots fired off right through the wall. Ethan lucky to get away with his life here. Demon One. Nasty surprise waiting for Aspas.
And there's been a push out on the other side of things. Giacomo knows that the Paranoia was invested here. And then as he hears them fall off, he's now got pretty good information. Demon One in his classic role, fairly alone.
No one's watching the smoke.
I mean, Com is also very deep. There are threats all over the place
What
here.
a lovely idea. They just missed each other ever so slightly. Will Sadek survive? Yes, he will. Spikes dropped, but in the moment, EG still looking up surprises. Demon One. Single shot is necessary, but he can't land it. So, Sadek making sure it doesn't get out of hand here. 3 players surviving, keeping the guns forwards. Less not carrying anything into the next one, just the Sheriff.
Aspas going for the operator immediately here.
Okay.
It's so bold, but I love it. The bonus round op can do outrageous amounts of damage, especially on the defense side, and Aspas might find himself in spots where he's going to be able to save it anyway, even if disaster does strike.
Be a fantastic beginning for Loud here on Ascent, the defense side. In recent times and recent form hasn't been looking too hot, but in that pistol round now looking to set their sights on this bonus here. Lovely knife early on, sets Aspas up on that deep angle towards B while mid just gets explored by EG. drone forwards. Needs to be broken here. Les is holding a one-and-done angle.
And that's nice from Kawanzin. He intercepts it. Aspas about to take contact in B main. Can Boostio tell? Just throws the Nanoswarm. That gets rid of the defensive Nanoswarm, but there is still that Jet up in front of it, getting all of the information for Loud.
Yeah, he's going to be calling. The entirety of EG just tucked essentially towards mid. Going to make a go of things here, bleeding out the utility, but Sadak, only just the one flash available to him here. Potential weaknesses over towards A. EG running out of time though, 45 seconds left into this one, starting to now make their move.
The feint, as if it's going to be a B split here. Does Les call anyone over? Because at the moment, Loud are set up quite nicely to still stop the cat push, and we can see that the spike is headed there.
Yeah, it is just 2 players left standing. It's going to be up to Sadak, really, to do the most from this spot. It's not going to be too much to contest this. No, it's a bit of a change in plans.
It's 25 seconds.
Yeah, there's 25 seconds left. They would have decided to go over towards B. Nobody really bid onto that one. They didn't like what they saw, but still into B main as Aspas holding his ground here. Oh, what a shot to win out. And still with a fight here, but they do not suspect less. They do clean it though. Traded. Kawazin from the back. Removed.
10 seconds left.
Kill confirmed. 8 seconds left. Got to get that plant down, and right now.
Com's going to secure that one. They've left Jorgamo inserted deep down mid, and Demon One takes contact, one shot. Misses it. Oh, what a read from 2Es, recognizing that there was a player there.
He's being pushed as well. B main not in control here for EG. It's a 2 versus 2, but massive gun and health advantage to them.
Recon just came back online for Com.
Onto lane. Com's not watching this angle, but he does have somebody watching his back. Yeah, Demon One, he's got that angle. So, not getting away with that, winning the bonus round out for Loud. Definitely doing some damage, significantly, to the economy, but EG going to be happy to get one on the board.
And Demon One takes the off. So not only has Aspas been denied that one through his death, and in such stellar fashion, if Com's going to be hitting shots like that, we might see him in back-to-back matches have unreal performances. It's the Jet Sova mirror that I'm so excited to watch in this map in particular. And Demon One with his attack operator, as Aspas limited to only the Guardian now.
Claims his prize. A little bit of utility, just intending to push him away. Demon One's still holding it. No one in his sight line, not anytime soon.
Standing ahead.
Flash and a recon play actually tags up Ethan. They weren't ready for it. A bit of counter spam. Zine, gotta be careful. Drop down to 52 health.
This is triggering a repush out through B main. They know there's an alarm bot down in this kind of area. Remove it, push back forwards, and that takes space away from Boostio that he could use to call with.
Declare out all that utility now, starting to make the move over towards A main, but just a drone, no tag still. Demon One really relying on him to set this one up. He wants to take a fight to him! Sadak thought the nade would push them back. Not the case. Anchoring towards the back here was 2 years. Seeking to reposition now with the TPs as well. There is no go button being pressed by EG. They just waited out ever so slightly. Now waiting for a bit more of a response, or maybe just a util to come back online. Here's a smoke. Sent flying 2 years though, playing inside one of his own, and he's just spammed out of it. Com saw him move into that angle. High ground. Aspas blinded up. Cannot see a bloody thing. EG. Look at in control. Gain the side, and no chance for Loud. Now backing away, saving the guns.
This was an amazing round by EG. And it may get even better. Boostio's about to collect onto Les. And Kawanzin sat wondering on the other side of the map where it all went wrong. Demon One is not limited by an attack side op at all, because EG work their way around the map in such spots where he can be allowed to play slowly for picks. They're not just going to run fast execs with Demon One having that pure entry roll. And Kawanzin picks one off towards the end here, but now he's given his position away, and Boostio cleans it all up. This is how EG took down Loud on Ascent during the playoffs of Americas. Was through Demon One finding these aggressive attacking op moments. Oh, and these shots are sharp. I love the little break that Boostio inserted into that round as well.
Yeah. Make some antsy, see if they use some util in kind.
And also just waiting time for Jorgamo to get another smoke back so that you ensure there's no threat that can come from grass. It's all super disciplined from EG so far.
It feels awkward to get a read on if you are Loud. Trying to judge where your opponents are.
They had the chance for momentum in this map. Starting out the series incredibly strong with a pistol and a bonus win, and EG have refuted it almost instantly.
Knife dodged. Deep presence on the extremities. It's used to combat the drone, so Con was taken out of that one. We don't get to clear Wine out. Might have to use a bit more util on top of it, just to get that peace of mind. For now, it's slow and steady. Spike's starting to make its way over here too. Maybe the goal might be an A split, but it's like just firing off the warning shots. This guy in shotguns. It's a match made in heaven.
I've seen him do some awful things with the judge. Now here's where the slower pace from EG may end up also having an issue. It's 40 seconds. They don't have very much information towards A or B main. Currency's just recon darted over towards B, which might give Loud some false sense of security, but the time is so low here. There's 25 seconds and they don't even have B main. The clock is EG's biggest enemy at this point.
Now the util's coming through. Cowboys, and he's repositioned to the back of the side here to try and take care of this one. Hunter's Fury ripping through. There's a connection, there's a tag, and there's the damage all combined up. Lovely shots. Patience from Kawazine. It is traded out, and Aspas with the blade still maybe can make something of this. Had to back away from it, EG. Oh, they played a clock. The timings are so damn rough, and Tide's still Loud. Want to make a decent go at this one here. They're not really risking the weapons into it, but EG, they fight them back. Using their own flashes. It's Ethan setting them up as well, all the way through into the wall. Bullet to the cranium. Waiting it out though, 2 years. What more can you do? It's brought it to a 1v2, surely. There's not enough time, but potential's there. Knife missed. Now you really have to get a move on. Starting to hear it tick. Dart is dodged. The positioning is being played immaculately by Com. He doesn't actually have util to push this one away. And 2 years seeking to just salvage a couple of weapons, will be punished for it.
That round gets a little closer than EG would have liked. Perhaps a bit of hubris towards the end, trying to challenge 2Es like that. But at the same time, their economy is still in a perfect spot. And Loud are coming back into their rifle round and calling a tactical timeout.
God almighty. Yeah, 2 years in top form.
He was a player that went missing a little bit in their previous match, and yet still found those rounds and those certain moments to come alive and deliver them 2Ks, 3Ks to be able to win out rounds. But Loud have not found any success since the pistol. And on the pistol, it was a trap play that caught EG while they were searching for map control and trying to insert Demon 1 into a good spot. That's something that EG have talked about a lot when they approach Ascent recently, is Demon 1 communicating to Boostio where he wants to play for a pick on their attack side, and then creating space to put him in a good spot within the first, like, 30 seconds. And seeing if they can generate advantages based off that. So instead of Demon 1 being the guy that's always really mobile around the map, it's the rest of the team. Once they get that Jet in a position to fight.
It'd be really quite hard as well to get a read on. Loud have been heavily prepping for each opponent as well. They've been putting a firm emphasis when it comes to the VOD times, making sure that they spot out the tendencies. They've been saying in interviews, you know, as part of what gave them the edge over Fnatic was just learning how they play certain maps, where they're standing, what their usual reactions are. But EG, the way they've been playing this attack side, I mean, with how mobile it's been, it's very difficult to get a read on them, to get a hold on them.
Aspas is going for the glass cannon operator here, over towards Catwalk.
Not quite hero, but yeah. No armor. Towards Cat. Nobody going to be opening themselves up into that sight line. But maybe they will just about now to jump spot. Good heads up from EG. Spotting out where the operator is. Now Aspas looking to reposition as well to make the most of it.
There's a ridiculous 0 point that Ethan just threw. A lineup that goes all the way back into spawn. I assume to try and catch a Killjoy that would be playing in an anti-KO setup. Ooh. Because he's one away from the null command. EG are thinking about Loud countering their KO ult before it's even online.
Here we go. Paranoia, but Boostio on the wiser, unaware. Honestly, that site was completely open towards tree.
This is a weird one from EG.
Yeah.
Overcooking things, I think, towards the A side of the map rather than just keeping it simple. Getting in their own heads about what Loud would have called coming out of the tag timeout.
They are now making their way towards B. Only 2 players again. They have to push it back, but it is less in Kawazine. They've been more than consistent over the course of champs, especially with the Odin. It's had to be a rain of bullets. The dart is good. Smoke cropped up into his face. Kawazin got to pick and choose the timing to spray.
30 seconds
just
left.
at the right time here. Dash forwards. Less. When does he seek to try and peek? Now is the time! 3 fall!
Les was an absolute monster against EG when they faced off twice in Americas. And Les has continued that monstrous performance all throughout Champions 2. You could argue one of the biggest reasons that Loud didn't perform at Tokyo was because Les was not running around destroying people. Look how hungry he is to try and take the fight. Feeds himself into the maw of Jorgamo. But that loss, they will not be too bothered about. The 3K is exactly what the doctor ordered for Loud coming out of the TAC timeout when their economy was about to get squeezed again. How does he so consistently find these spots, these timings, where Demon 1's not ready, Com has utility in his hands? Yeah, Les is a really aggressive player, but the timings he picks, he's just got such a read on the game.
And there it is, brings us 3-3. Plenty of ults online for either side. That is the counterplay, honestly, where Kawazin is placed and stood. Potential there for that to go really wrong. No command. He's gonna fly here. Oh, no chance. Not getting past the choke point. Demon 1 does not step foot into the site.
No dart breakers again from EG.
The counter spam, though. I mean, Kawazin getting a little bit too risky with it. But a lot of damage has been done to these EG players. Look at how low they are. Ethan, Boostio. Single shot will really bring them down.
And you take that every day of the week if you're Loud. You stop them from getting into sight with an ult command. That doesn't happen every day.
Not committing the ultimate there, just to clear the bottom section of mid.
This Judge looks primed to tear through Ethan, Boostio, and potentially Com, all of these players that have taken chip damage. It's a nice idea, but no damage done to Sadak, who holds strong.
Either that, I mean, the shot down maybe just to clear the setup.
Going to use lockdown as well here. This is such a massive investment of ultimates.
Knife gets the tags. Suppression across the board. Does he have the lineup right? Sadak needs to be pinpoint, really. A bit of extra damage will also maybe get it done, but no, doesn't break it. A few seconds remaining. Really softening up players on either side here. Will the site be gained? Will they get access to it? With 20 seconds left, got to make their moves into the site with the spike. He's got it in his hands. Plan. Finally going down here. Needs to be holding this one.
EG have been offered an opportunity by that missed KO nade, and now seek to take full advantage of that fact. Jorgamo's in quite an interesting spot here over towards B main. He can still get into a bit of an aggressive angle despite this lockdown.
It won't clear the back of the side as well. Players from EG can still sit there all the way towards the back. It only clears a decent section. If you look at the timing from Jorgamo, could be absolutely everything. Flash play. Oh my God, Sadak! Almost grabbing the 2 here, and it is about that timing as Spurs. Pure reactions into the back though. Spam through the wall will not be enough for the box to out-track them all the way through Com. Right click into the classic to win the clutch.
Com is back in unreal form, just repeating what he did yesterday. Except this time the rest of his team also stepping up, not just Com up at the top of the scoreboard, having to carry them through these moments. Put this guy on Ascent with Odin in hand, and he's going to be delivering huge moments.
Let's go, Corbin.
The form that he has been in.
Nice, let's go.
He looks so good. Here's another clash early on in A main.
Hello. Flash over the top. They checked it
immediately.
It's the 1-for-1. Back this one away, but EG, they have gained and granted themselves control towards this one. That's a Hunter's Fury. This is pure reactions off of this one. Attack onto Com. Will there be the kill collected? Not quite.
Very close. Com managing to dodge, gets his own online. Com is unreal with his Sova ultimates. He has the most in the tournament so far by a long shot. And just to compare between him and Kawazin, he has about 7 times more Sova ult kills per round than Kawazin does.
7 times.
Yeah. So, Com's very good with this ultimate if you give him an opportunity. And Loud are grouped up over towards Catwalk. If Demon 1 smells anything
this
over here...
ult is going to set up the push.
Unless Sadak's quicker with the Bucky.
Here comes down to... All this Util coming their way now with the paranoia, and the dart doesn't get cleared. And here it is, yeah, the Hunter's Fury. So damn difficult to really pass through, and you cannot stand your ground against it. It's going to pave the way. Access towards tree control, but maybe the side as well. Still, there are Loud players ready to receive. Push them back. Less really onto the flank there. Just cannot quite rattle the shots off. Calming down the aim there with the Sheriff. Spike down now. Pushing towards the round. Bullets flying through. Aspas tucked into the corner using the smokes against them. This is into hell. And are they going to be aware of this?
Even if they weren't, how do Aspas and Cowanzine recover a situation like this? The first one, great.
Maybe
but
like
still
that.
2 players in A main.
Here's the dash, upgrade, received, got to cover the fire all the way through here, back towards Jenny, and yeah, Demon 1, what is that? Safety in numbers, sure, but didn't even know where his targets were that he was shooting at. I mean, Aspas was hiding inside the Cloudburst. Nasty stuff from Demon 1.
And it's so great that we get to see EG playing against Loud when both of these Jet players are in excellent form. Aspas was dunking on Fnatic in that match that we saw just earlier, and Demon 1's been the highest performing player at Champions, still leading the way in terms of kill per round. Demon 1 wasn't even activated to his top level at Tokyo. When EG went on a run and made it to the grand finals, they didn't have Demon 1 performing on, going on all cylinders. This time though, he's ready and awoken. Oh, the timing just missed.
Aspas going to be kicking himself with that one.
Com gets away with it.
Instantly repositions to the top side of mid now, smoke in their face though, on top of it. It's really quite difficult to get a read in terms of what EG are running. The drone not broken.
I like this turret though as well from Les. Look how deep it is and how much info it gets over towards A main. And it's going to allow both initiators to play over towards B, which is a bit of an unusual setup.
Flashes just for information. As soon as the bullets are fired, they know, okay, multiple targets now from EG. Sitting into B main. Sadak missing a jump here. He's not going to be in position to use util.
That's good information as well. They now know that Demon 1 is here.
No command.
That's arguably a little early, but it was also timed with Ethan using his 0 point.
5 seconds left, this push into mid. Com doesn't win it! Whether a sound cue or not, Aspas was just aware. Landing the necessary shot up towards Cat now. This is a pivot and attempt straight forwards, but are they going to clear close to the side? Less still tucked, and well, it's all patience being played, ripping them apart. Jorgamo, he barrels through main. Demon 1's trapped though, and Aspas has got him right in his sights. One player left to do the most with Jorgamo in a 1v3. Spike is down, time is on his side. A misstep from Loud really that's able to him to get into this one. One kill, collected and traded though. So Loud, really good with the discipline. It's one of the things they've been carrying forwards in this tournament.
And I think they needed this win. This round, absolute necessity for them. They couldn't afford their economy to get broken again. And you talked about earlier the fact that Loud's defensive rounds have not been to the same level as we've seen in previous years. In 2022, they felt utterly untouchable on the defense side of Ascent.
Yeah.
This has been a different story with Loud. It's recently been a map that they've had a revival on, but they're going to need pretty much the rest of the rounds in this half to feel comfortable.
Still money available on either side.
And Demon 1 committing heavily to this attack-sided operator.
Yeah.
Some days, he said, he's not feeling the op, but today, part of the game plan, or whether he feels like he has a hot hand, he's been playing with it a lot.
Might be one of those days. Now the drone's not broken again. Close out a defense spot. This lineup as well is going to be landing onto the alarm bot. Into mid, the usual placement for it.
Doesn't get broken though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little deeper than you might expect where Les has put his alarm bot. And Les has been pretty creative with his Killjoy utility. Prior round, he was set up over towards A, got them very good information, allowed him to tuck in a one and done at switch and win the round. EG now grouping up over towards A. And they've actually swapped off the operator. So look, Comms picked that one up. Demon 1 with rifle in hand, looking to entry. Now, this looks like they're waiting for the second cycle of the 0 point to avoid that. But it gets used over towards B. So now with no utility there to identify that EG is set up for an A stack,
Have to expect this. I mean, Aspas is the
You're
one.
gonna go for it.
Yeah, he's got to lock this down, but here we go. Flash over the top. That's a great connection. Tucked to the corner, but already you can see Demon One, he's into the side. Dash to try and escape the updraft. The movement is very, very clean. That's Sanak. Takes a peek at the timing. The dart not being broken in time. It really does light up the targets. Enough for Demon One to be taken care of. Drone double tagged up. Nothing for the players to do through that choke point. They have been bogged down with 15 seconds remaining. It's going to have to be brute force. It's the attempt from EG if they want to have a go at this one. All the way through is being covered. Bustio, but again, with the trade. Kill confirmed still into the site plant. Being stuck down now. Ethan is on an island. He needs Com's help, but Com just holding down this one avenue, and he's only got the operator. Inevitable for Loud to win that one.
Too sharp as well from Les and Aspas. There were a couple of moments towards the end there where EG's players are in positions to maybe get a 2K. Specifically Bustio, played in by Ethan's jiggling over towards A main, and yet couldn't make it happen. The trade, excellent from Les. And then winning the 1v1 against Ethan too. When Les is hitting like this, when he's up at the top of the scoreboard, he just turns even situations so heavily in favor of Loud and can rescue them from spots that otherwise would fall by the wayside. Loud have recovered this. It's up to 5 apiece, and EG themselves forced to take a tactical timeout.
As for these last two, trying to make their mark. Feels like Les as well, not really being forced to use this lockdown. He's had it for most of the half in terms of the ults. Online. Money is short for EG as well. This timeout's going to be used to maybe cook up something a little bit cheeky. They have a Blade Storm talking about if they do want to fully invest, I imagine, into the round. Just around that one ultimate that Demon One has, but other than that, it will probably be for the 12th round, the final round of the first half.
And it's great to see this series, which is going to be a marathon, start out with a really tight, tense first map.
Yeah.
Because in the history of these two squads, they've thrown haymakers at each other. We've seen 13 threes multiple times. We've seen a 13-0 between these two teams as well. They like their reads, they do a lot of prep on their opponent, and that can lead to situations where you just have a gut feeling or some kind of anti-strat that works perfectly, and you get blowout maps. Those may come later on in this series, but for now, things very back and forth. Loud starting to recover, though even if they take the lead, this will be a good half for EG. 5 on the attack side of Ascent, more than enough.
Themselves up quite well, their map pick. Aspas once more. Watching down mid. Drone from Com. If he tucks into this corner. Oh. Com actually not managed to get over the top there, so it won't clear deep into pizza. Aspas can be safe tucked into that corner.
Demon One caught on that, but it's ambiguous information. Not sure whether he's taking that pick over towards Catwalk or in A main. Either way, the Jet is leaning towards finding picks over on the A side of the map. So Loud are going to keep 3 players in that area with Les's utility.
2 updrafts available. Oh, and he mistimed the flash. It was all supposed to be coordinated together to maybe earn EG a pick. Nice idea.
Very rare that you see the mistiming on Ethan and Demon One.
Smoke's fading though. Close to the corner. Sadak waiting. Lovely knife. Blade Storm's not available for them anymore. And yeah, I mean, EG just losing the war of attrition here. And they try and use this utility.
30 seconds left.
The weaker buy, of course, Loud are going to be able to outpace them most of the times. They're trying to set this one up now like it's a fake. Shot hits, Bustio. It's weak. Aspas didn't have to use the dash to get out of there. TP towards the back now, Jorgamo. Access towards the side. It's going to be calling this for the team, but time is of the essence, and the spike has not made its way towards it. How do they get through this choke point? 10 seconds. They have to try and get in. There is no damage really being done. Ethan starting to get a plant down now. Post-plant positioning for EG could pay off massively. Bustio. He's tucked to the corner now, just playing that backstab roll. 2 players also into B main. The lockdown will push them back. No detainments though. Bustio can't land the shots. Now he's been spotted out. There has to be a clearance from Loud into B main. Demon One holding the close corner, but as the smoke fades, the damage is done. Aspas narrowly escaping. Knives just hitting the shins. He's still alive in the action here, but there's a player disadvantage, and it is massive right now. Loud being picked apart, pulled to pieces from every single avenue, and time ticking away from them. This is a round win for
For EG, they have done the most.
The final two players on EG fall to the spike. Aspas and Tui's just never even able to get into that round. What a beautiful Omen TP there from Jorgamo to be able to set up this entire pivot. There is so little time on the clock, but as soon as he cements himself into the back B site and smokes off spawn, that allows the avenue for the rest of his team to flood in, and confidence that Loud have not got an anchor on site. They had one gap there in their defensive setup, and EG exploited it to win the MasterCard Thrifty.
Right back into it.
Different lineup this time from Com, and it does take the alarm bot down.
Yeah.
Instead, it's Sadak, though, the threat, over towards B main. He's been using these shotguns for the last few rounds to try and boost the economy and make this an even half.
Yeah, last few matches as well is what it feels like. Defaulting into the judge gameplay, close to the corner. This is so damn hairy.
Shotguns, so many targets, but no one falls. The drone is cancelled out here. Aspas takes a peek towards Jorgamo, top mid, taken out, but the site's going to be gained once more for EG.
Boostio, once he gets his plant down, is going to be in a position where he has lockdown available. So you see him deploy it here. What's the decision for Loud? Do they want to go forwards or backwards?
You have to go for it here, almost lining up, team in one! Not drafted over it. Bullets raining down, but he does survive, but the moment tucked to the corner. Shock dart does not bring him down. You've got to respect the lockdown back towards the side, but Com has given the most perfect of timings. The most perfect of timings. He's just walking up on them. And Loud are feeling all the emphasis, the pressure now from the time just running down. Short, over and around. No more kills. They are not turning around to face him. EG, these last few rounds, putting on a masterclass.
What an excellent way of stopping Loud after they got the momentum to make this a close half. 7-5 with EG in the lead. And their attack side calling has been fantastic. This map historically one of Loud's best. But EG recently, with their approach, with Demon 1 in the roster, just looked immaculate here. Boostio's attack side calling continues to be a masterpiece. And they're up, heading into the second half.
Can't argue with that, man. 7-5. The attack side rounds of EG, they have set themselves up so damn nicely.
Wow, what a start to this series. I think that was entertaining, right, Form? You guys like that? That was pretty dang good. All right, let's go and get right into business here and jump into our Verizon high-speed moment of the match because it comes from Com. And, you know, we keep giving this kid all the flowers, all the accommodations and talking big about him, but he really has been just performing out of his mind, Mel.
Yeah, his performance from yesterday was not a one-off, as we're clearly seeing with a 7-5 lead. And this clutch, again, the util is looking impeccable from him. And the game sense to put the Odin out. He has plenty of bullets, by the way, here. But to put it down, pull out the classic, because he knows this is a close angle. It's a really bad angle for him to peek into Aspas. So he pulls out the classic so his barrel doesn't show. He has a bit more mobility. He can jump around. He can make it really hard for Aspas to get any damage out of him. And it just, having these big clutch moments again and again, and his big clutch util, I cannot be understated.
I mean, those millisecond reactions that he has as far as his decision-making is concerned is just absolutely incredible. These two players have been looking good. One of the things we were talking about is that it cannot just be Com by himself. He has to be supported by the rest of the team. Demon 1 was fairly absent yesterday on that Ascent map. Today, he is roaring to the front. A star-studded performance from him thus far.
And beyond that, the calling from EG in that half was incredible. Boostio starts off with these really complicated double fakes, leading it down to just a few seconds left on the clock. Winning those then simplifies the round. They get that one timeout through another adaptation. EG's attack sides are world class. And with 7-5, without winning the pistol round, this is going to be really tough for Loud to do the same.
Yeah, well, we're going to see how this all shakes up as we get ready for the pistol and send it back over to Brennan Sideshow.
Well, eye is going to be focused onto this one here. Now, EG, when they're on their defensive side of Ascent, playing against PaperX, it's PaperX who, really exploited, I think, the tree hold, the cat hold as well. They were rapid on the approach, squeezing those players over towards A. They saw that as a potential weakness. We'll see if EG have corrected it. It looks likely. 2 players deep into mid.
Yeah, this looks aggressive, actually, from EG. Like, Ethan and Demon 1 want to fight this. Oh my God, what a shot to open.
Okay.
What a way to announce yourself in the second half. instant jet differential.
Yeah, you're going to be feeling that one for days. He is ringing.
And there is so much more of this match, so much more of this head-to-head left to go. Now the catwalk hold is going to be pressured slightly.
I want to push off this. Okay, Utah being broken here. The timing on that was just unfortunate for Sadak, but he's been impeccable. 2 players left standing for Loud. Get themselves in. 2 years taking a ton of damage. There's no time wasted. boostio, this level of aggression. It's relentless, man.
Awesome round. Both teams having a good pistol on defense where they designed to collapse mid. This one off the back of contact, and that triggers a recon dart from Com that was flown from so far away, right back towards the heaven window, landed over in tiles and set up for this push. But it's all open by that exceptional Sheriff shot as well from Demon One.
One enemy remaining.
Again, best statistical player of the tournament so far, Demon One, and showing no signs of slowing down, even against an Aspas who played phenomenally against Fnatic.
Let's go, Boosty!
Aspas was plus 20 against Fnatic. And Demon One's doing stuff like that to him.
Both monsters in their own right. But today, Demon One, at least for now, seems to be just in tip-top form. Grouped up now, Loud. Collection of players here with the Sheriffs. Towards B, Turret spots them. Oh, as soon as the orb is taken, that shot dart doing a lot of damage.
And the second one too.
Tons of damage.
And look, Com might have just won this round already. It's just softened up all of the players that would be a threat, that are trying to take aggressive positions.
Out on their eco. On the game plan they have in mind, honestly, is to try and farm up these orbs as well. Looks like they're funneling them into Sadak. They still have A main control. I mean, 2 years disrespected that earlier into the round. He's just been holding on to it since.
Working their way down mid. boostio's got his alarm bot here.
But detonates vulnerability across the targets, across the board. Com tucked to the corner here. Still, with the amount of damage that's been done prior, you have to think it should be an easy solve for EG. These players might be getting squeezed though soon enough.
Yeah. Especially with boostio's positioning, he's really isolated. He can't afford to reposition particularly.
Left.
If this gets cleared, might be a dangerous moment. Backs towards it. So many chances. Kawazine, the tag as well with the dart. A lot of damage done towards the back of the site. Needs to be a bit of a bailout now. Some help and assistance. Com, lovely flash. Gotta appreciate that one, Ethan. The supplementary utility from this guy. It's just in another class of its own.
And the best supported player in the world shows you why he deserves that title once again. And excellent stuff from the bottom of the scoreboard. From downtown, throwing the flashes. That was a pretty aggressive position for boostio, and it looked dangerous there for a moment too. You know, Com got lit up by a dart. He could have easily been taken down, and suddenly there's no one actually for Ethan to throw that supportive utility even for. It's also taken a lot of the sting out of this bonus. But with Demon One and a Sheriff in hand, we've already seen what he's capable of. Both of these squads have very different ideas about how to approach their attack side. Loud love to be going for these 4-1 approaches where Les is the only player towards the B side of the map. And Loud will hard focus on winning A main control at all costs.
Very important one now for Loud to win. Think about it. Investment of the guns, the rifles that they've got in their hands, EG. Pure bonus round for them. Looks like they're setting up as well just to stack over towards A, giving up a lot of space inherently, not holding it close towards tree.
The drone through mid continues to allow that alarm bot and turret actually to gather info towards mid and towards B, and that's led 4 players to stack on the defense side on A.
Yeah, they're not worried.
They're not at all, and this is definitely danger for Loud. I mean, every piece of utility they're throwing indicates that this is going to be an A split straight into these 4 defending players.
Drone through players off the back of it, Ethan. There was a flash ready and waiting. Good time to strike now. Players starting to really move through here. The dart wasn't cleared though. Jogamo lit up. Counter utility still being used all the way through. Push forwards. There was that flash. Ethan is in their faces all the way through. Team of one. Nasty with it. Can't reset it enough with the Sheriff shot though. Can't claim the second still. Give it to Com. Plan has to go down now. 11 seconds remaining. Won't be anything to push this one back here. Still. Maybe Com just thinking, okay, get the rifle. Cheeky little prize. Does he still want to make a go of this?
And by the look of it, EG still have enough money to buy into the next, so any economical damage that you can inflict upon Loud makes this a better and better bonus. And this is likely to be the area where they exit for the save.
Yeah. Just playing it smart. We did just see a clutch the other day from Com where he made the big wraparound on Ascent.
Com is never not flanking.
Yeah.
In the wise words of Mimi.
But it's about his, you know, how agile he plays it. He messes with your internal clock, the timings in your brain.
Oh, look at how good this is from Loud, though. They smoke behind them over towards A main. They've got a 0 point out forwards to make sure that he's not hiding somewhere aggressively for them. And they get a clean exit where Com can't inflict any more damage. This is going to take us into our first rifle round. Aspas and Kawanzin, I would imagine, looking to buy up around the guns that were saved there. It's this recon dart, honestly, that ends up taking all of the danger out of things. Ethan was ready to flash these players in, and yet they got caught. That's a good utility appreciator.
You gotta respect it.
Me when I see people not dry peeking everywhere around the map.
Exactly. Cautious tale for both of these teams. Love to play it slow.
Sadak, though, benefiting from the fact that he was loaded with ult orbs early on in this half, now has his null command online really quite early. This is a big round. And he's instantly taken A main control. Loud have these explosive fights sometimes around the extremities. This could be a re-clear, though, from EG. Yeah, the flash in.
Yeah. Flash in. Jogamo. Connection, no kills.
What I like about this too is it makes it much less likely from Loud's position that they recognize Demon One is also here with the operator. You know, why would you be going for a flash re-clear of A main if the op is right behind it? Yeah, that is where Demon One's posted. And I love the position that Demon One has taken right now, anticipating them backing up and going into an A split, which Sadak loves to call, but this time the IGL
moving away
from Loud moving into B.
It's EG though, playing fully aware of the no command. Wait, I mean, look at this. Boostio's positioning. Deep tuck back. He's not going to be cleared out. He's not going to be suppressed. So all that util is going to be left to help Com. Dart's dealt with as well. Given the perfect timing as well as they start to come through. And there's the Nana Swarms. He can debt them again because there's no suppression. Paranoia into the back. We see the same supportive utility to help him out. There were flashes. Said flying, but Com wasn't aware of it. The stairs position taken. Again, barely just getting in there with enough time to really do it. Still EG. Are they going to attempt to flood in? No, it's just a stray shot of Team of One.
Don't know how that one hits.
Ridiculous.
It's a nice spot for Aspas to play high-lows with the rest of the team, but there's nobody from Loud in B main.
Yeah.
They're all grouped up on site.
And that is critical. All collected here for EG to really make the most of this one. Into the retake, this high ground position, all he needs.
Paranoia.
Pixel, an angle, Paranoia, massive connection. Multiple players now fully blinded up. Close to the corner, they're all being dealt with at the back of the site. Kawazine, 1v2, 1v1 tonight!
Ethan, the safe pair of hands, takes things home for EG with an excellent, diligent retake. Loud have such phenomenal post-plant positions there on site. Yes, they don't have anybody tucked towards logs or market or B main, but in terms of the spots you could play on site, I really like what they were going for. And most of that setup got ruined by Jogamo's flash. It just sails through. Player close gets caught by it. Aspas gets caught by it on his higher setup. Breaks those crossfires and allows EG to get in.
Nice! Let's go! That's huge.
That's the tension in a 1v1 for the coach.
Standing ahead.
Flash and a recon. And towards back. Ethan is disrespecting all of this. I mean, there's no connection there with the darts. So he just removes the turret out nice and early. Sets up Demon One again with the operator. Meanwhile, Loud, they're exploring into middle.
Demon One is so deep. He looks like he might be about to make contact.
One less. Spotted him first. Damage done, no kill.
Boostio's utility looks ready to try and hold that space for him to use lockdown. But now he's had to burn it early and he gets caught. A random sheriff shot takes down the Killjoy and removes that lockdown, which EG would have been hoping to use for a retake. They still have an ult command to work with. Ethan could be vital here. But Demon One will probably have to trade off the op with somebody else. It looks tough.
Yeah, let's see how this gets played now. Go either way, any direction. Maybe just down to the positioning here of these players spamming. Wallbang angles. Nobody found here. Demon One has found the rifle now. Time will really begin to start ticking.
Especially when Currency has this Hunter's Fury at all times.
Yeah, and he is just really just buying all the more time for them. TP denied. Juggernaut can't get it done here with the rifles as well. The angles are all known and noted. Ethan, so much more to do, but he just cannot do it. Lit up right through the floor.
And all of that coming down, I think, to the fact that Boostio fell. A sheriff shot through a smoke. Spammed back towards him. And he doesn't have his ultimate that they really needed for the retake. Look, that's done to EG's economy too. How does this shot happen? Oh, wow.
Talk about
perfect one.
Yeah.
I've definitely noticed with EG, and Boostio's talked about it in press conferences too, that when he has bad games individually, his calling also suffers. Now, he hasn't had a bad game in this match so far, but we saw him in the game against PaperX calling himself a disappointment and a fraud for going -24 in the series. You need to make sure that he's having good moments, not getting caught out, to keep the calling high.
The mental in check. Okay, EG. Very disrespectful. Only with the classics, of course, just trying to brute force their way, taking out A main control. Here's the response, though. Loud spotting it out. Close to the corner, though, is Com. There's going to be a flash to clear it. Lovely bit of util now. Lots of players waiting to receive. EG over the top now with a Blade Storm. Not really spotted here to jump and spot. It's the bait play. Oh my God, disgusting.
It's a great idea. Love to see it. How many knives did Demon One just expend there?
Well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Dash still alive. Round to the corner. 2 years shuts it down. No danger, no chance of a real trade. And Jogamo, there was danger there. He had the rifle. Paranoia flying through. Boostio only on 20 health. Not much he can do in this. At this point, just playing for the exits, but really the money. It is booming for Loud.
Sadak, though, was forced to use his ultimate in the midst of this round, and I think you can count that as a win. You can count that as some small victory, some silver lining for Evil Geniuses. They're still 2 rounds up and now have fairly good ultimates. Specifically good retake ultimates too, against what Loud are going to be throwing at you. Boostio is going back to this Killjoy setup that's focused very heavily on putting double nano swarms and alarm bot, defending that tree space so that he can use lockdown in the retake over towards A. It doesn't work as well when teams like to run A splits on you though, and that's what Sadak loves calling those.
Drone and a knife. Team One, a lot to play towards mid here.
Here's early catwalk pressure already, only 15 seconds into the round. Boostio would like to hold on to this setup.
Triggering the turret just to see if there was a util trap play off of it. Alarm bot on top of it, so that's all the Killjoy utility removed.
Very early on, within the first 30 seconds. And that's going to be very helpful for Sadak as well as he builds an identity and a map in his head of what the defensive setup is like.
Just from breaking it, look at the EG players' positions now. All collected up towards A, anticipating that that's where the hit might come through. And the reason for that as well is just Demon One this entire time has been holding down this B angle, but it's not to be received with a flash in his face. Will the peak timing be good enough? He's not going to be able to get out of there in time, as well as Paranoia comes out of nowhere near-sided, dashing even deeper into B main, using the smokes, trying to use them to his advantage! And here's the help, surely.
30 seconds left.
Into the side, starting to make their way now into the side there. Nade at their feet, just trying to
avoid it, dodge past it, to the back of it though. They are walking into a blender. The kills need to be claimed right now for Loud all the way through here. And while it's less, is the one who's got them all in the blender, but still it's Jorgamo at the back of the site, anchoring at that position.
10 seconds left.
None the wiser, with no time left. Not a chance in hell. Jorgamo will not let this one slip. Beautifully played.
Another ult from Jorgamo into the back B site. He did it on attack, now he's doing it on defense. When you look at the way that EG's defense is set up in this round, it feels from the minimap like it's only Demon 1 towards B, but there is always that constant ability for Jorgamo to get into back site and reinforce this whole position. And as soon as there's somebody anchoring in that spot, it makes the supportive utility from Com and Ethan so much stronger too. Very nice setup from EG. You can tell that both of these teams are expertly prepped.
Yeah. The time I've taken here for Loud. Got to give again immense credit. Demon 1, top form. Think about that prior round, doesn't get the pick in B main. Yeah, he got traded out, but just enough delay, enough time being bought. EG could really cement up and bring the reinforcements in.
I want to think about the mentality of both of these teams coming into this match as well, Brent. I feel like every squad heading into Champions was wondering how Fnatic could lose twice. Anxious that it would come down to them to have to slay the beast. And EG themselves proved unequal to that task of taking down Fnatic at Tokyo. And Loud coming to this match as the Dragon Slayers, returning to face EG. Battle worn, but also with a trophy that should strike fear into the hearts of every squad that goes up against them.
Oh, yeah.
We are the team that took down the favorites, and yet EG, right from the start, have shown the confidence to bring it to Loud and never play scared at any point.
Form has been such a factor. A lot of matches that we've been seeing. Oh my goodness! There's a punish. Kalazine attempting the drone down into mid just from the tower's position, but it was a flash dart and it sets it up with the Odin spam.
These ideas are so good from EG. Stolen, refined, perfect. Demon 1 in an off angle, but dealt with by Sadak.
It was an unorthodox one. Flash plays all about. Leslie couldn't see anything. Hunter's Fury, this is Com. Wants to salvage the situation, at least help them out, but slightly off kilter. Okay, 2 players left standing. Boosty actually going to be committing the ult now. Trying to clear out this smoke. Fades away towards the side. Is he going to expect Aspas? Door needs to be broken. Reload inside. Everybody's got the knives out. The util. It's an absolute disaster.
Boostio looking to put pressure on and had his own lockdown broken in the meantime. He's left on a 1v3. And despite the incredible start from EG, it went downhill so fast. Ooh. He's got the right read.
Yeah, 2 years ice cold, doesn't shift his position. Does he really make a play for this? That's a heavy face, and look at Loud, they are immediately on it. They can smell blood underwater. Chasing him down. They make the decision easy for Boostio. Run away, keep the gun.
The ideas from EG in this round are excellent. I mean, right from the opening pick, but even then, when there was more tree pressure coming through, we had a Paranoia comboed with the Hunter's Fury to be able to clean up the aggression coming through from Loud in multiple waves. And yet Loud was still able to hold their ground and frag through it. A great example of Loud being able to shrug off the pressure from EG.
Crowd feeling favored. The plucky upstart that is EG. North American representatives here. But Loud are steadily climbing their way back. Trying to equalize in this map. The round lead that EG have is starting to get whittled down and away.
Last time EG were on an eco, they stacked 4 players over towards A. And they just had Com and Boostio's utility watching the rest of the map. It looks like a very similar setup here again.
Smoking a Paranoia. Believe me, held here. Demon 1's the only one with the rifle. Don't expect that one. He's been playing a lot of these off angles. Does he really go for more? I mean, the dash He's activated. Might feel like he has to get something done with it, but no, just using it to reposition here. Loud. Bit of a noise bait. Running away. Vacuuming up the space once more into A main. Drone close to the corner. That's a seek. An attempt to punish. I gotta respect it from groups.Those. It's being watched for. The Loud still want to go for this. Yes, they do. Rush over the top here with the paranoia. Hunter's Fury as well, clearing all the way through here, but there's really no emphasis being placed on this. They have to take the site on top of it, but bullets will do the job, I guess. Clearing out into the corner. Still, Demon 1 is active, and he's still got the rifle with 9 bullets left, though. No more dash to really evade capture, and he's brought down.
Com scrambling, frenzy in hand, trying to pick up the pieces. The Loud have done this work on the anti-eco, and they are set up in an unlosable position. The triple face. Com not given an inch, given no quarter. Loud draw ever closer to tying this one up. The attack sides from both of these teams have been called beautifully.
Yeah.
I think EG's defense has had more layers to it than Loud's, and yet Loud are still managing to avoid all of these problems that are thrown at them.
I completely agree. These halves have mirrored each other, honestly, as well, which is the pistol round wins going in one direction, but you know, the gun rounds, when it gets down to it, the attack side, these teams just have a better read.
You want to talk about mirrors, the IGL picking up the judge. We saw Sadak in the first half, and now groups.Those has gone for the same kind of play over towards Tree. This does seem like the kind of area where groups.Those is likely to get action.
Flash is going to connect though. Is it coming? Dodges it. Jump spot! That is nasty! And even nastier from Sadak, actually, under the pressure of that one. Making the trade happen.
Who does the trade favor, though, at the end of the day? Sure, you get rid of the attack side jet, but also all of that killjoy utility is down on A.
And they push Sadak into this deep position, tucked towards Tree.
I think it's a very nice spot for Sadak to call from. Les, however, is way off script.
With his knife. Is there going to be a flash reclear here? Wants to play. EG going to try and cook something up.
Yep, here goes Ethan.
Yeah. Oh, on the other side of the map. Okay, Sadak going for a flash of his own. What timing gets taken still? Back towards the smoke. Watching. A bit messy.
So now where do you go? Do you go towards Les on B? Do you try to commit to A? There's 30 seconds.
I don't really have the answer, but it's definitely getting the kills. Well, that space was gained. Les. He's making a run towards mid here, just to try and hold this one back. Demon 1, he's seeking to also adapt and try and play fluently. He's brought down. 15 seconds. Where's the spike? It's dropped down right there. Nade close to the corner. Ethan! He's getting away with murder.
10 seconds.
To 1v1 and the doors in his face. Obstacles abound. Kawazine, you gotta break it. And Ethan, he's won it out.
He goes for the top.
Unreal. Unreal.
That is a round that should never have slipped away from Loud. They had too many options, paralyzed by choice. Sadak was clearly calling for some kind of A split, but wanted to leave Les over on B to see if he could work the magic. And they decided, because time was so low, to rotate through mid. The only area where Demon 1 and Ethan could have had any impact on the rotate. But they didn't feel confident enough going full through spawn. I mean, thankfully, Sadak doesn't seem too bothered by it. All smiles on his face. But they've allowed EG to get up to map point when it seemed like Loud were pulling off the comeback. A match like this, the best of 5, it's going to be a marathon, but small moments certainly add up. Here comes Sadak, popping his ultimate, looking to try and right the wrongs heading into round 23.
Can make all the difference here. Let it fly now, let it loose. The util sailing forwards, but the guns, it's all about how they reign supreme. Aspas wants to lead the charge here, trying to resurrect it. Aspas, he's essentially on an island. He doesn't have help from his team, yet he's still holding the back knives. Out, in charge now, Demon 1. Seek to even it up ever so slightly. EG might be on the cusp of winning the map, but Louder just back into this with a vengeance here. Tucked up onto the box. Aspas, he's low. He's trying to take the fight right to them. Brings him down though. Dart is there, and there is the wallback damage. All being done. Com. Still with control over towards door. It's 2v3 though. You have to try and get these Loud players out of the positions they are tucked into these post plant. So hard to remove. Smoke. So awkward, so difficult. Demon 1 would have to have hit a worldie, but no. Door less containing.
And Loud certainly responded. After letting one round slip away, they came in with fire. The entries looking vicious from Aspas.
Yeah, I mean, and he's alone now when he's taking these fights.
But he's so confident in his own skill, his own talent to be able to pull him through. And Les also with 3 following up on that space that Aspas had created for him. Les has 25 kills right now across 23 rounds. Stellar performance, outfragging Demon 1 on the other side of things, who I keep reiterating has been statistically the best player of the tournament so far. If Les is on fire like this, it's going to make a big difference compared to their flop at Tokyo. Les was one of the major reasons, his monstrous performances carrying them through in the 2-1 victories they had over EG in Americas.
Time are taken. EG's final round can be the hardest. Bring you over that line. Time to talk you through. What are you going to do this last round of regulation?
Loud have been focused very heavily on A main control. If EG want to get value out of a scrappier buy, I love the idea of going for something aggressive in A main. It doesn't always have to be fighting it at the very start of the round. You could lure Loud in and give them A main control and then try and fight with a reclear strategy. But it seems like EG have a similar idea to me.
Yeah, and the money isn't too hot for EG here. For this last round, they bought up entirely. Just trying to disrespect them. It's a flash play along with the dart as well. They're all lit up, but they don't really have the guns to get this done. Maybe with rifles, could have spammed a couple of these players, but it's just contained. Storm was weathered by Loud. They waited out and they regained control of A main themselves. This time with ultimates, packing a decent punch here. Locked down.
Ethan still has a flash for this. They could try and go aggressive again. No, the drone is going to dissuade Demon 1. He's forced to pull back.
There are gaps here towards the lockdown. Into the back of the side as entertainment though. Jogamo, he's up close. I believe inside of his own smoke here. Working rings around him, but Ethan, he will fall from the back. It's all onto Demon 1, but he just cannot hit the shots. Sheriff in his hands, needs to make the most of it. But Loud, complete dominance, completely in control. Inevitability, we will be going to OT here. Bustio gonna try for it, doing so much, but really just shut down. So 12-12, our opening map here of our lower bracket finals, with everything on the line, going to overtime.
It's going to be bad memories for EG here. They were up 11-6 to Paper X and lost a few clutches to let them back into the game. It feels like another one that they might be letting slip away. (11-8) the scoreline at 1 point, with EG in the lead. Just managed to make it 12-12, stopping the inevitable Loud onslaught on the attack side. Both of these teams with impeccable calling. But now the sides flip. EG once again on the side where they've looked the best. Loud's setup is quite different. And the Nanoswarm is so far back, ready to catch. I mean, by the look of it, Demon 1 as he would dash towards stairs. The way that Les has put his utility, it seems like they want to double anchor really deep on B.
He's given a hop for Com, gets himself into that position here. Fight. Ooh, it's the bullets exchange. Kawazin. He's hoping to follow up on it. No one falls though.
Alarm bot broken. Les as after he takes a little bit of a prod towards B main is now in a very, very passive position over towards B. They don't have a turret, they don't have alarm bot, they have no information. And that's going to make every other part of the map a lot weaker.
Nice paranoia, but sidestep and avoided. Aspas! Too much room to overcome. Those two players just sitting there, 2 years now. He's tucked into hell. Could he be the backstab? Could he be the knife that really hurts them? But no. With him shut down and removed, it is pure desperation. You can see it on Loud's face, the way they're playing this one. Not together, not ever so slightly. EG once more. They find themselves here on the cusp of taking our first map.
These attacking rounds continue to be excellent for EG, but they need to be able to put something up on the other side as well. Great isolation onto Aspas. And they just get their players in great positions, completely holding and dominating these.
Look at him!
The sight lines over towards hell and heaven. But Loud now with an opportunity to respond, and their attack sides have also been great. They put a heavy emphasis towards A main control, but this time the Brazilians grouping up in tiles. Oh! Wow, what counter spam onto Com.
I was wondering when we might see it. The punish inside both of these teams. Opting into the Odin plays. Just like that though, with less falling, it's suddenly a 4v4.
I mean, that one, such a shot from
Yeah,
Ethan.
I mean, where the hell was that?
How has he found that?
Cat all the way down to tiles.
Just the tiniest of angles.
Flashpoint, taking space. But now contacting. No more util being used off of this one. Dart doesn't spot it. Ethan is in real danger.
That's amazing. They know that Ethan's been holding flashes from that position.
Massively so. Jorgamoto up close to Dice here. It's really going to start to be swarmed and overwhelmed. How does he get two? Demon 1, heavy position, ADS. This could be it. It's a 1v2, Saturday IGL. He's got to pull off a masterclass round. The tap of the spike doesn't force any EG players out to the open. A second stick of it over the top, updraft. Demon 1 cannot spot him. Knows who one of them is though. Flash buys him some time, buys him some space. Wide swing, wide face, can't isolate it. That is it. EG taking map number 1.
Excellent performance from Evil Geniuses. Start out with a strong footing. Looked like that map was going to slip away from them, but excellent calling on their attack side prevails. We have tests, twists and turns, I'm sure, later on into this series. But EG with a great start.
Yeah, amazing resilience. It's still a best of 5. Remember, plenty more action left to come, and we'll see you soon, just after this break.
When you play an actual ranked game, it's 50 minutes, but how much are you actually shooting? With AimLabs, you can compete in over 1,000 tasks that will prepare you for any scenario in any game. So the new ranked season, you play, you get points, you can compare yourself to your friends. With AimLabs' new one-to-one Valorant maps, you get instant feedback on how to get better crosshair placement, better peak efficiency. You can also instantly modify existing tasks with Discovery. Get started today by downloading AimLabs for free and join millions of other satisfied players.
Red Bull gives you wings.